Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are tackling a metric that literally dictates how we all work: battery life. We've gone ahead and distilled all the latest expert reviews, the grueling battery tests, and real user data to bring you the definitive guide for this year. So let's jump right into our countdown of the top 3 laptops with the absolute best endurance in 2026.
Look, we've all been there, right? You're rendering a massive video file or, compiling a huge batch of code, and then, boom, the screen just goes black. Or maybe you're deeply familiar with that very specific low-level anxiety of scanning every single airport gate like a hawk just to find one working wall outlet. It is exhausting. So if you're completely tired of battery anxiety dictating your workflow, well, this breakdown is exactly what you need. But hey, before we kick off the top 3, I want to give you a quick tease about where this countdown is actually heading. The machine sitting at the very top of our list today is so incredibly efficient that reviewers literally noted number 1 feels almost impossible to kill. No way, right? But we are talking about a level of endurance that fundamentally changes how you interact with a computer. So how did we even get these massive technological leaps this year? Well, the secret to 2026's crazy battery rankings comes down to highly efficient new chip architecture. Specifically, we're looking at Apple Silicon and the newer Intel Core Ultra processors. These chips, they aren't just faster. They actually manage power distribution in ways that stretch every single milliamp without throttling your workflow. That underlying efficiency is basically the entire foundation for our list today. All right, let's get into it. Coming in at number 3, the Dell XPS 14, or what we are calling the Windows Surprise. 20+ hours. Yep, you heard that right. During recent testing, some reviewers actually managed to pull over 20 hours of usage out of the Dell XPS 14. Now, that number is frankly absurd for a Windows laptop. Honestly, historically, hitting that kind of metric on a Windows machine felt like an absolute pipe dream, but Dell has completely changed the math here. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that usually to hit 20 hours, you kind of have to accept some major compromises, like a bulky frame or a painfully dim screen. But not here. The XPS 14 maintains a premium design, an incredibly sharp display, and really strong productivity performance, all while staying remarkably lightweight. For Windows loyalists who absolutely need elite battery life, our sources confirm this is currently a top-tier choice for sure.
Moving right along to number 2, the LG Gram 16. We like to call this one the lightweight legend.
If you follow tech at all, you already know the LG Gram series has a serious legacy of longevity. But the real genius here is the form factor. Usually securing a massive screen for your sprawling spreadsheets or huge video timelines means you're lugging around an absolute brick. The LG Gram 16, though, gives you that massive real estate without the heavy chassis. It keeps things incredibly portable while basically just sipping battery power. So, because it successfully blends that large screen with extreme portability, the data highlights a really clear target audience. It's incredibly versatile, is perfect for students running all the way across campus, travelers trying to work on cramped flights, or remote workers bouncing between cafes all day. It completely removes the weight penalty of having a big screen. And here we are, number 1, the MacBook Air M5. The absolute undisputed champion of 2026. The MacBook Air lineup just continues its total dominance of the battery life charts. As reviewers perfectly summed it up, the M5 is an efficiency monster. It honestly feels almost like magic how little power this Apple Silicon chip uses, even when you're running multiple highly intensive applications at the exact same time. It's wild. In the real world, this means users are routinely leaving their chargers at home for an entire day. And I don't just mean an 8-hour work shift. I'm talking a full 24 hours. Plus, because the M5 manages its thermal output so brilliantly, there aren't even any spinning fans. It stays completely cool to the touch, operates in dead silence, and the performance never hiccups no matter what you throw at it. This totally frictionless experience gives the Air M5 universal appeal. Whether you're a student pulling an all-nighter, a professional running really heavy software, or just an everyday user who actively despises carrying around a heavy charging brick, the data is crystal clear. This laptop sets the absolute ceiling for modern battery life. So, the crucial point is why battery life matters and what your ultimate takeaway should be from all of this. Let's do a really quick recap of our top 3 to see how they stack up. So the Dell XPS 14 brings elite 20-plus hour endurance directly to the Windows ecosystem. The LG Gram 16 offers that highly coveted lightweight big screen experience, and of course the MacBook Air M5 sits at the very top as the undisputed all-day efficiency monster.
But here is the real lesson of this whole explainer. When you're shopping for a machine, it is so incredibly easy to get blinded by flashy benchmark scores and massive RAM counts, right? But actually, scratch that. Raw performance means absolutely nothing if your machine doesn't have the juice to run it. Performance per watt is the ultimate metric here, because at the end of the day, a dead laptop is just a very expensive paperweight.
And that wraps up our dive into the 2026 battery landscape. Now I want to hear from you. What is your personal threshold? Like, are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of raw horsepower for that 20-hour Windows endurance? Or is the M5's silent efficiency the only way to go for you? Drop your thoughts down below. Also, if this analysis helped you out, leave a like and subscribe for more structured tech breakdowns just like this one. Keep learning, and we'll see you next time.